right. Hey everyone. Today I'm going to switch things up. Instead of recording a video, filming a video of myself, I will be having a conversation here with Stephanie Griffin. It's
Hello.
going to be a podcast. So she's going to be here. First and foremost, before we continue on to the podcast, I do want to give a shout out to Stephanie Griffin because she taught me what I know about editing videos. So if you've liked my videos so far, it's thanks to her. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day
Of course.
and to teaching me. All right, so let's start. So today I want to talk about, of course, the environment. And so Stephanie, what comes to your mind when we think about environment, sustainability? Yes, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Okay, the first thing, it's a little bit random, but it ties along to it. Straws. So I've noticed the small change, but it's not only small, it actually has a big effect now because this small change, it's banned now. Straws are banned from certain cafes, certain restaurants and whatnot. But I'm wondering what your take is on it, mainly from the ban of the straws, but also them replacing straws from plastic into paper. Or also, I've also noticed there's some companies that are allowing people to consume straws that are metal, so you can always take it, everywhere you go. It's portable and whatnot. So what do you think of that as a change in bettering the environment?
Yes, definitely. I have seen a big trend on a lot of people focusing on plastic straws. So let's look at the root of it. First and foremost, what happens? What's the whole process of straws? First, you need to extract the materials. Normally, it comes from petroleum, oil, and then it's taken to a factory, and then the factory ends up putting them together, which uses a lot of energy, and then it gets to our cup. And we use it normally for about 5 or 10 minutes, depending on how long it takes us to finish our iced coffee or our vanilla bean. And so then it goes to the trash. And once it goes to the trash, a lot of the times it ends up in the ocean, which then breaks up into smaller plastic materials, which are then called microplastics that are all over the ocean. And it takes hundreds and hundreds of years for it to finally decompose. It is said that all the plastic that has been created is still out there somewhere, unless it's been burnt. And so back to the straws, and then you ended up talking about what about the paper straws? Now the thing about the paper straws is, it's still not enough. These paper straws are perfect for people with disabilities. Now, maybe if you have sensitive teeth as well, go for it. The paper straws end up working as well. But the bigger view is it's still not as efficient as it should be because those paper straws come from trees which are cut down, and the energy that is needed to convert it into a paper straw is still polluting the environment. Now, yes, it does biodegrade, which I'm all for, definitely, instead of the plastics. But it's still using a lot of resources that we should be more efficient with when it comes to trees. Trees are definitely what's cleaning our environment, what's giving us oxygen. And so by reducing the demand of these straws, then we're also reducing the supplies. What does it mean? It means that there's going to be less trees that are going to be cut down and more oxygen for the trees to create. Yes, when it comes to the metal straws, though, that's a good point right there. Metal straws, I encourage people to start getting either metal straws or bamboo straws or copper straws, reusable straws. And if you have a straw with you for a whole month, tap yourself on the shoulder. If you're able to keep a reusable straw for a year, then you definitely should pat your shoulder, because it's always a goal into trying to see how long you can reuse this straw instead of all of the hundreds of straws you'll be using, the plastic straws, just once. So the longer you can keep your metal straw on you, the chance that you'll become more efficient because you prevented 100 to 200 of the amount of straws that you would have used to all that pollution is not anywhere because you did not cause it.
That's crazy though. It's like trying to imagine how many straws that I have used like before the ban, like within not just one day or like at least 1 month. Like I don't go out as much. I don't go to a lot of fast foods or restaurants and whatnot. But just trying to think back, like how many straws have I used, and it's like now just not one person, now at least 2 people or 10 people or even 30 people. How many straws have we used within 1 month or even a week or just at least a day? It's like, it's incredible to find out, like, or just to see, dang, just a small amount of people could make such a huge effect to our environment and like the ocean and whatnot. But speaking of the ocean, I don't know if you've seen the viral video of the sea turtle who had like a straw in their nose that's been stuck in their nose, and there's a few people that were trying to get it out. But back to that, the viral video, I've noticed that because of that video, I think it was one of the like the starting points of why straws have been banned. Do you think that viral videos like the sea turtle one is definitely a key point for people like you or anybody just randomly to use to help better the environment? Because I feel like a lot of people are more of a visual, like they like visual display.
Yes,
definitely. It causes them to make a change rather than just hearing it all the time or waiting until like something drastic to happen and then it's too late. But do you think that the more viral videos like this would help?
Yes. Before I do address that, I just want to point out that the United States uses 500 million straws a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so 500 million straws a day are being used. Now, how many of those straws are properly being disposed? I would say less than 20% are being recycled or properly disposed. So it's a lot of plastic that we're throwing away.
And I've heard that one fact that it takes about 400 years for one single toothbrush to actually be decomposed.
Yes.
Now imagine like the plastic.
Yeah, imagine all that plastic. That's why I said all the plastic that has been created is still in existence to this day. But yes, back to the viral video. That video, I have seen it. It's the one with the poor little turtle. It's crazy how it takes so long to take the straw out of its nose, but that relief though, you can even see it in the turtle when they're able to take it off. It's like, I can finally breathe again. I can only imagine.
Sing like thank you. Like at first it was terrified, but then like when he was starting to notice like, oh, they're helping me like free myself.
Yes.
Like you could just see the relief. It is a little bit hard.
Take a moment. Imagine if you lived for a month with the straw in your nose. How uncomfortable that would really be. But anyways, this video did become viral, and that definitely helped with the plastic movement into becoming banned. It definitely showed people that the just how bad it's for the environment and how animals suffer for our carelessness when it comes to trash. And yes, definitely we need to capture more moments into showing to the public how important it is for us to really learn how to properly manage our waste. There's always been a debate where who should be the one in charge. Should it be the corporations or the people to manage this kind of waste? And it honestly, at the end of the day, it has to be both. It's not one or the other, because we are the ones that are creating a demand and companies are creating a supply. Now, it doesn't give them the right for them to be very inefficient with the materials that they create, because yes, it's still on them. They should take a moment. They should take a big moment and to really figuring out, is this really the most efficient way of getting this product out? Is this product efficient? I know at the end of the day, people think about money. It's all about money. They just want to make a quick buck and all that. But it's hurting us in the long run. It's hurting our future generations. It is hurting us all. But just by getting a little bit more efficient, it can really make a big difference in the long term. And trust me, mark my words on this. When corporations have, when they start becoming, let's say, eco-friendly, it's really going to give them a positive promotion to those companies because it's what we need now. It's slowly people are going to become more aware of the importance of becoming eco-friendly, and then we're going to end up choosing companies that are eco-friendly because it helps us like support these companies and getting what we want. But yes, back to the viral videos. That's another way of engaging with the community. Anybody that's out there that's listening, if you believe in these videos, if you agree with what I'm saying, then help me out promoting these videos, sending it out to friends and family, you know, to get them curious about these environmental issues, because at the end of the day, it's affecting us all. And it's a matter of getting rid of some bad habits that we currently have that are becoming very wasteful. So yes.
Yeah, it does go to show that like, one person does make a change. It seems like you can't do anything. It's like I'm just one out of 7 billion people in this world, but it's a ripple effect. You know,
yes.
One person can start a chain reaction. I mean, just look at again, just going back to referring to that viral video, that one person recording that video allowed one person to see it, and that one person shared it, and it shared to so many people that it just made a big result in most areas of the world, or most areas of within our nation. We're like, okay, we got to say goodbye to straws, you know, and what's next? We don't know what's next. And it's just like, that's within the power of us, you know, the power of the people. I want to go into pollution as another topic, more specifically smog. So I go hiking at Runyon Canyon at times, and you usually get to see like a pretty view. Well, sometimes, because what stands out a lot is actually the smog that fills LA. Like you just see smog. You're supposed
that lovely smog.
Yeah, like you can see it clear like after it rains, and then you can actually see, oh wow, there's the beach. Like there, you can see all the way from Newport Beach, or you can see Burbank. You can see Glendale. You can see as far as your eye can show you within standing on one of the trails in Runyon Canyon. But then after like the rain is gone, you know, which here in Los Angeles or California, you don't really get that much rain. The rest of it is just mainly smog. So you can't, everything that you would see, you don't see anymore. So you just see like grayness and just like, oh wow, this is Los Angeles. Okay. But what is your take on pollution and
No, definitely. I also like, even when you go into the San Fernando Valley from the 405 going north, if you're coming from LA or Santa Monica, you definitely also notice a smog. Now, let's really think about it. There's 4 million people living in the city of LA. And so those 4 million people are constantly going from one place to another. And so what do? They use their car. That's the reason why LA traffic is so known, because there's 4 million people trying to commute. You know, of course, they don't all commute at the same time, but sometimes it feels like it, because, hey, if you're like me, I've been in LA traffic where it's just so bad, I'm not even going faster than 5 miles an hour.
Something that's supposed to be a 5-minute drive ends
yes.
up being 20 or
yes.
half an hour. You're like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's so frustrating. But hey, you know, that's when I get the time into putting on some really cool podcasts and start listening to, you know, hear
Mr.
people
Emilio.
out.
Yes.
Right? There you go. Pull out your podcast of me and you can listen to me. So I can, you know, I'll be your partner in crime during this traffic hours. So, of course, there's going to be so much smog out there at the moment. And that thick layer in Los Angeles and the San Fernando Valley and in other places, of course. But so a solution behind that is taking public transportation. You know, honestly, it all comes down to it is reducing our emissions as an individual. You know, we always say, well, if these people did it, then boom, it would work. But it's not really like that. It ends up coming down to us and our community is how much emissions have I emitted this week? Unfortunately, it's there isn't an app out there yet. You know, I'll definitely work on that one day, is create an app where it measures the amount of emissions so we can have at least a goal on reducing our weekly, monthly, yearly emissions. Because it's very important for us to be accountable for the amount of emissions. Of course, you know, there isn't any penalty that is going to be created or anything like that. It's just a matter of awareness of where we stand. Because at the end of the day, the goal is to be more efficient than what you were yesterday. And so, yes, using public transportation, carpooling with individuals definitely helps. If you are working at let's say, a building, maybe you can ask your coworkers or around if they live in the same neighborhood, and you guys can carpool, share gas expense, maybe switch with vehicles, etc. And that definitely will make a difference into getting rid of all of that smog, clean up our airs. Because only think about it. Come on. Imagine our body constantly every day inhaling this amount of smog. It's going to affect us. You know, it's going to make us fatigued because I'm not getting that pure intake of quality air with oxygen, and of course it has nitrogen and other elements, but it would be more of a cleaner hit that way than taking a deep breath from let's say LA, where it has all the smog. So maybe that's the reason why a lot of people are very fatigued. You know, road rage is a big it's a big thing here in LA. I've experienced as well road rage, so maybe because of the smog. So let's blame it on the smog. So that's definitely one way of reducing our smog here in LA.
What about bikes and electric scooters? I've seen in certain cities that they have implemented these bikes and the electric scooters to help people get to local areas. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's like a good start? I know it's controversial to some people because certain brands or certain companies that have been doing them, you can just drop them off anywhere.
Yeah, they're being careless.
Due to I guess it's a start. So you have to start somewhere.
For sure,
but
definitely.
Do you think this is like a good jump start, or what do you think?
Well, bikes, I definitely you just get a bike and you are the one using your muscles into getting you from one place to another. So yes, it is efficient in that way. But when it comes to the electric scooters. Electric scooters are a great invention, a great technology out there. Unfortunately, the companies just said, "Here, guys, here's a bunch of scooters. Figure out for yourself." Of course, they taught us how to basically operate it, but not how to properly use it. Like, you know, there's like some locations, make sure to be careful with it. Because it's great technology. It is reducing emissions because instead of using your car, you can easily hop onto the scooter and get you from point A to point B. And here in LA, although it's been raining lately, but it's normally sunny, so it's a good day. You know, it's a good day to go on a scooter run. Definitely, the only thing is which California is aiming for by 2030. All the energy that is being used in LA is going to be coming from a renewable energy source, which is wind, power, hydro, and which is great for us. So yes, these electric scooters that we'll be using are going to be powered by renewable energy, which is clean energy. Now, the thing is that currently, overall in the United States, 80% of the energy we consume comes from toxic resources. What are those toxic resources? It is nuclear, gas, oil, and I blanked out. Nuclear, gas, oil, Yeah, nuclear gas, oil, and another one. And it's only 20% of it comes from renewable. A lot of it is hydro and thermal. So, technically speaking, these scooters aren't running as efficient as they could be running if the energy was coming from renewable sources, because we're still using up those toxic resources. But yes, it does have lots of potential. It's just a matter of the communities that are using it for us to come together and be more efficient with them, more just taking more care of them, being communal with them would be a great way to improve this technology for the better of all of us. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. You have informed me and helped me with all my questions.
All right, I'm glad.
Environment. Thank you,
Yeah,
Emilio, for having me.
I'm glad you had questions. You know, I always appreciate a curious mind. But thanks for coming up. You know.
Of course.
All right, y'all. Have a great day. I will be coming up with a Spanish podcast, so stay tuned for that. But thanks so much. And as always, y'all, I hope you have a very efficient day.